What up, everyone? You know who I am. My name is Jack Slater, the main man, the man with the plan, the master plan. Yeah. And we're going to be kicking it retro. And you know how I like kicking it retro. Yeah. We're going to have some fun today. And we're doing a toy review, as you probably may or may not know. And just so you know, we're doing Ironman Retro Silver Centurion. Check it out. Check out the back. Now, the Silver Centurion, for most people that watch the Marvel movies, it made its appearance in the Marvel Iron Man 3. And just like many Stark's Iron Man suits, it's there and gone. But the Silver Centurion has a much richer history than that. Actually back in the 80s. This was a Mach 8, I think. Somewhere around there. As the years went on, like more in the 90s and the 2000s, the suits became boop, 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 more and more constant as the comics grew and the fans grew and the artists kind of changed things. This was actually around for a good while during the 80s, the Avengers of the West Coast, until finally Iron Man 200 when he switched back to the yellow and gold. Check it out. Very cool. Rhodes was actually wearing this for a time as well, just so you know. He wasn't just War Machine. He was actually Iron Man for a time because Tony had become incapacitated from drinking. He's become incapacitated from drinking. His body is shut down. He's died with his brain being alive and controlling the Iron Man 3 remote. There's been several times where there's been people that step in as Iron Man, or there's been a clutch situation where he's been remote controlling Iron Man or something like that. But what can you say? It's comics. It's the fun world of comics. And this Iron Man suit, check it out, has, instead of the yellow and gold, it has a silver and red look, which I always found cool. And this suit is made to absorb energy and expand it. It's basically just like a big energy absorber. It can take energy into, use it, and focus it. So this thing is basically just a never-ending battery. It's kind of like a hero that gets shot, like Bishop. There we go. Bishop. He's able to get shot with an energy blast and is able to focus it back or use it for different systems in his suit. The suit also had the classic array of Iron Man stuff, repulsor rays, of course, the thrusters, the usual scanners and other stuff like that. In the movie, it had Jarvis, which at this time, Jarvis was a butler. Look it up. Look it up. Jarvis was actually a butler at one point. And what it did is it gave him bigger blasts. Like he had the regular uni blast, and then this would focus it out and make a bigger blast, like a Kamehameha kind of deal, which I always found cool. And like I said, this is very unique. I mean, if I got an Iron Man tattoo, if I had to pick an Iron Man tattoo besides War Machine, because War Machine deserves his own movie. Don Cheadle deserves his own movie. I'm telling you guys now. Great actor. But this is really cool. I was actually surprised that it made an appearance in the Iron Man movies. It looked cool. I do like this classic look though, but I am an old school Marvel fan, so take it as you will. Baby went through the Iron Wars. The Iron Wars was a situation where Iron Man kind of some of his technology was stolen, and it made his way through several villains, and he had to spend almost all of his fortune and basically getting kicked out of the Avengers or kicking himself out and just going on a tirade, just taking down all these people. Boom, 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 boom. That's how Tony Stark rolls, y'all. Nobody puts Tony in a corner. But anyways, yeah, let's check it out one more time. That way you guys know what you're looking for out there in this reality. I happened to find this little gem when I was cruising the Walgreens. Ooh. Now, I want to pop this sucker open. I know I do. Now, let's just use the key to the city here. Oh, it feels so good. It feels good. Yeah, just rip it open like a savage. Now, I'm kind of touch and go with Iron Man. Like, I've read bits and pieces of his history over the years. I'm very familiar with him in the Avengers, especially the Avengers of the West Coast. I was actually a fan of that. I was actually thinking about covering that at one point, but it comes to a point where it starts. We killed it. Yeah, it comes to a point where it starts going off into different crossover events, and it kind of like takes away from it because you have to actually go over the whole crossover event and what's going on in this one contained thing, and it's such a pain in the ass. But I might cover like maybe just like the initial 20, 30 run because I didn't have any of that. Now this is cool. Let's just pop this up. Here, this is what it looks like before I pop it all out. Check it out. Now, come to Slater. Now this is classic. I mean, like this is wow. They put a lot of detail in this. I'm going to show you guys right now, just so you know. Look at that. Look at the suit. Even the back, the retro booster, everything. That is super cool. This is really classy. Check it out, everyone. This is the old school Ironman. I actually really love this. Very glad to get it. The background is also interesting too if you guys like hanging stuff up, using backgrounds for dioramas or anything. Kind of a metal one. So, it comes with the classic array of stuff. You know, the blasters that I've got in another Ironman one. Now this is unique, and this is one of the reasons I bought it. Remember that Ultra Blast I was telling you about? I do believe, yep, that if you connect it in and put it in like that, boom, you have the big blast. This is what I was talking about. Like, they make the regular small blasts like this here, so we can just kind of contrast and compare. And it's going to be a bit of a pain to put on. Just so you guys know, you have to straighten these out. And you can straighten these out just by doing this, or, you know, there's other ways of doing it. But you can see that one is a lot smaller than the other one. This is supposed to be like the big blast from absorbing energy and stuff like that. And this is really cool. I love the detail in this. I love the face. I love the way it looks. It has that classic look. And just so you guys know, this is the other stuff. It comes with fists, in which, you know, I might have it, but I like the big blaster, so that's probably what's going to be happening, you know, when I display it. It's a great toy. I mean, it's cool, you know, it's kind of stiff, but that's good when you're trying to stand a figure or pose a figure. And I have a perfect spot in that where it's going to go. Look at the way it stands. This toy is worth the buy. I was so surprised when I found this. I almost had a heart attack. This is just something I've been waiting to put in my collection for a long time. I have several Ironmen. Alright, I have the one where Tony Stark, you know, you put his head on. I have an old Ironman from Ironman 1 that I ended up getting through a swap meet. So I kind of have 2 Ironmen already. So I was very chintzy about getting another one. And I also have the Warmonger, you know, the bad guy from Ironman 1. So I was very kind of about another Iron Man because they've been making other Iron Men. I want a War Machine, but I was like kind of like I was thinking about the Iron Patriot because the Green Goblin was the Iron Patriot for a while, as was Cody Rhodes, so that would have been kind of cool. But when I saw this one, I knew this was going in my collection. I knew this is everything that a collector looks for in that classic retro look. Look at that. One more time so you guys can. Boom. He's Iron Man. Yeah, I remember those old cartoons. Iron Man, yeah. This is cool. I love this. This is just classic 80s right here. Classic Stark. Classic Iron Man. And like I said, I was Iron Man 3. I think it was Iron Man 3 that it was in. Maybe Iron Man 2. I wasn't really overjoyed with Iron Man 3. But it later on, it served a purpose because it explained a lot of different stuff that was happening in Marvel, especially in Tony's psyche. So that was important that needed to get established. But when I first saw it, I was kind of like, And then you got to kind of remember that all these movies bridge together. But I loved Robert Downey Jr. He was a great pick for Iron Man, don't get me wrong. It's sad that he's taking a break from it. I have a feeling that we might see him one or two times more. Because Robert Downey Jr. just loves stealing the show. And after a break, I think we may see just a smidgen of Iron Man back in the Marvel Universe. The movie universe. Other than that, he's been in so many cartoon series, the Avengers. He's had a few cartoon series that have lasted a few seasons, an anime one, and one that came out in the 90s from a Fox channel, I think. So Iron Man's had varying success here and there. The shows never really took off. It was the Avengers where he really got a start, like Avengers Assemble, where he was the leader. He actually did a decent job as the leader. Of course, everyone knows of his terrible leadership after the Civil War with S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that incident. So, love him or hate him, Tony Stark is a man of innovation. He's a man of the future. And sometimes when you're looking forward to the future, you miss the little pitfalls ahead. And I think that's always been Tony's problem, if you catch what I'm saying. And I'm the Comic Outlaw. And as always, you know that I will catch you on the flip side. Like, subscribe, and pound that button, man. Send the word. Join the Outlaw Nation. As always, laters.